Hey, up next on the Marmy Rock Show, making first appearance on the Marmy Rock Show, we've got Aaron Hart from Love Stallion out of Denver, Colorado. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
So, hey, for folks in my show who might be a little bit new to your band, give us a little bit of a brief history of the band and the bio of the band.
Let's see. So, my buddy Rob and I, who's the co-founder and guitarist, started the project end of 2013, and just kind of wanted to bring back the kind of big rock, arena rock of kind of the glory days of rock and roll, late 70s, 80s, with kind of that flavor of Kiss, Leppard, Van Halen, but just, you know, certainly making it our own, a little bit of modern influence, but yeah, I mean, our projects, we call ourselves a glam rock band, kind of a hard rock, and, you know, plenty of makeup, leather, spandex, sequins, hair, that whole thing.
I gotta just tell you, man, when I heard your band, there's a few bands out there like you guys that I just say I love that are keeping the genre of music I love so much alive. So thanks for keeping that genre alive for us. Hey, I hope you'll take this as a compliment. I was trying to figure out, your voice has two little influences just remind me so much. I feel like if Kevin Dubrow crashed into Kip Winger, that's you. What do you think?
Okay, I can see that.
Who do you get compared to the most? And does it drive you crazy?
A little bit of Lou Gramm, a little bit of Styx. Yeah, it's just a little cleaner sound than a lot of the kind of raspy screamers. But yeah, I definitely don't have the kind of the growl of Sammy Hagar, for instance. But yeah, a little bit of Boston as well.
So what was it that first drew you to this genre, like, as a band now? I mean, is this music you grew up loving, or is it music you discovered later? And, you know, what drew you to form a band of a somewhat lost genre, but that's now coming back?
Yeah, I mean, and certainly, yeah, Darkness, we love what they're doing. They're helping bring that back. But, yeah, I guess I kind of always loved the genre. I guess I wasn't super into it. Rob, a little bit older, grew up with kind of the height of the glam rock craze in LA, and so just always had a passion for that, and kind of helped get me a little deeper into it. But yeah, I mean, I saw a back-to-back show of Prince at a small theater here in Denver in 13, and then Rob and I went front row to see Kiss and Leppard in middle of 14. And man, it's so different hearing the old recordings versus being in the face, front row, feeling and seeing, you know, every little detail and expression live and in person. So what kind of started as you know, Queen always talks about it took a couple years for them to kind of create their show because they kept adding and adding and adding, and that was kind of, we didn't necessarily know quite what we were starting at the beginning, but you know, kept adding more and more, and as we wrote more tunes, it kind of became its own thing. You know, a lot of momentum behind it.
So I shared the other day, and I've been really enjoying the slow release music video. Tell me a little bit about that music video.
Yeah, so our bassist Arrow's girlfriend Gabby basically did the whole thing, filmed it, edited it, kind of gave it that retro look. Even, you know, you notice some of the, let's say, vocals are a touch off the track, just kind of how some of those older videos were. But yeah, she just took footage from well, we headlined the Marquee Theater downtown Denver back in February. So it was just some footage from that show, the rehearsal, and then kind of the green room backstage hangout before that. And we didn't really see it until it was totally done. And it was super cool just to see what she captured and the cut she did, and even some cool kind of candid moments as we were, let's say, going over the set before going up. So yeah, it was super fun to do.
So your album out there right now is Unforgettable Ride, which is awesome. Tell us a little bit more about who your producer was and where you recorded that thing.
Yeah, so Steve Avedis at Colorado Sound produced the record. We got connected to him through my voice and performance coach, Dr. Scott Martin, one of my coaches. Him and Steve go back, 30 plus years, but they did a bunch of stuff together over the years. Steve did, the big names were Tony Bennett, Instinct, Air Supply. So he's been around a long time, and Doc and him are like family. And after getting to know him doing the record, he's just kind of similar. Became family. Really has a personal touch. Really gets to know the project, understand what we want, and really made the process so easy. A big studio album can feel intimidating, but it just felt super right with him.
Now, I heard you say two things I thought were really interesting there. The vocal coach idea. A lot of bands that do this genre do use vocal coaches. Do you find it to be a more challenging genre to sing? And is that why maybe so many singers use vocal coaches in this genre?
Yeah, definitely. I think just with the high range and, there's a lot more of that almost scream or raspy vibe. And I think to have the stamina to sing a full show and not blow your voice out, especially when you're cranking guitars and blowing everyone out, it's easy to oversing. And it's just important to really maintain good mechanics while you're, unlike a lot of genres in this, you're not, it's not like a bluegrass band where you stand at the mic. You're kind of running all over the place, and if you're not careful, you'll hurt yourself. You hurt your voice.
So what's the biggest key to preserving your voice as a singer in this genre? Like, what's the one advice you have to other singers to say, this is how you take care of it?
Great question. So Doc and my other vocal coach, Kate Emmerich, she's a big vocal coach here in Denver, also a speech pathologist, but they both teach pelvic floor, which is really singing kind of from the using your whole body, but really from your core and from underneath the diaphragm. Whereas in my past, it's easy to really push or use your throat a lot, tighten up, and it not just hurts and wears your voice down and hurts your pitch, but that gives you the stamina to sing for an hour or two, and helps with range and tone and harmonics, all sorts of stuff.
So when people play the record, the Unforgettable Ride record, what is your personal favorite? I know that sometimes it's hard for artists to pick, but I like the artists to try to pick one that's the most special to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always back and forth, which I like that day. Valentine, I think, is my favorite. We spent 3 times as long on that song in the studio than any of the other songs. The kind of feel of it, the texture of it. If you're familiar with the song "Love Bites" by Def Leppard, it just kind of creates that real spacey, lots of tension, thick nostalgia vibe. And so we spent a lot of time on getting the right vocal feel, but also the guitars, because it's such a the guitar isn't necessarily in the front rocking a riff the whole time. It's more layers and kind of working with the vocal a bit more in a ballad kind of way. So that's my favorite. It's a story about a Valentine's date from years back, and kind of that fantasy dream girl and someone else in the picture, almost a touch like the Love Bites vibe. So Yeah, that's one of Rob's favorites as well. So super stoked how it came out.
So, hey, looking ahead, we're pretty much right smack in the middle of the year here. What's your goals for the band for the rest of the year?
So the rest of the year, we just started planning our second music video. So our first was First Slow Release. Second one we're planning is for Big Rock Radio, which is track 3 on the record. And that's kind of a little more of an anthem song, and kind of actually those are the first 2 songs we wrote together outside of a Muse concert, kind of singing the ideas into our phones. And that was actually the beginnings of the band in 13. So we plan to start working on that, filming that in September. We hope to have that out maybe October or so. And then just writing some new tunes, getting ready for next year. We're hoping to start doing some mini tours into 19. So that's a whole lot of logistics and planning. Yeah, we're just stoked to get out there and bring the show to the U.S.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight. This is Aaron Hart of Love Stallion. They're from Denver, Colorado. Go check out their Unforgettable Ride record. It is a great release from the band. And, man, I appreciate you taking the time to be with us on the show today.
Yeah, man. Thank you.